Here he is. This is just the other day talking about Gaza, Palestine, and I'm sure what he's going to say is just so sympathetic and caring for the 43,000 but really 200,000 Gazans that have been murdered in this genocide. And here we go.
The 21st century. And when I tell the young people, for example, who are understandably in America, let's say they're super sympathetic with the Palestinians. Well, they've been killed. A lot of those Palestinians have, and they had no.
Just wanted to throw this in real quick. Who killed them? We don't know. Just they've been killed. People have been killed. Tough to say who did it, but let's keep going.
All they know is that a lot more Palestinians have been killed than Israelis. And I tell them what Arafat walked away from.
Oh my God.
And they can't believe it. I said, oh yeah, he walked away.
I'm going to keep playing it. But before we even analyze what Arafat walked away from, just imagine that you're witnessing a genocide, an execution, 48% or whatever the number is close to that of just children executed in this for 15 months. And you go, yeah, but 30 years ago.
Yeah.
This decision was made. And again, I'm not even getting into what the decision was. We can talk about that in a second. But just 30 years ago, something happened. So what? They deserve genocide? Like, just that part is unhinged, fucking sociopathic.
From a Palestinian state with a capital in East Jerusalem, 96% of the West Bank, 4% of Israel to make up for the 4% that the settler was occupied that were beyond the borders in the 67 or more. And I go through all the stuff that was in the deal, and they it's not on their radar screen. They can't even imagine that happened. And I tell them, the first and most famous victim of an attempt to give the Palestinians a state was Prime Minister Rabin.
This is utter bullshit. This is utter bullshit. This deal, not only is it like in 47, 48, all of this land, the first Nakba, is just given to the Jews in the area, was a tiny percentage, and a massive amount of land, like 55% of what is Israel, Palestine, Israel, West Bank, and Gaza, is just given away. And then you have the Nakba in order to cleanse the area. It's ethnic cleansing in order to clear the area, where tens of thousands are killed and 700,000 flee, become refugees. And imagine right after that, you're then told, oh, well, let's make a deal and we'll agree to everything that has completely destroyed your people. And it's utterly insane to then agree that that's fine. But beyond that, the deal also said Israel could do basically whatever the fuck they wanted. I mean, they could, you're giving up more land. They can come in whenever they want. They can't control their own water and things like that. They don't have a right of return. There's so many, the devil's in the details, but they're barely even details. I mean, the devil's in the deal. It was insane. And then they go, oh, well, they walked away from it. And even if that were true, so genocide is fine? Find a genocide. They walked away from a deal.
Exactly. I mean, you're completely right. Even if that was true, I'm imagining Bill Clinton, telling this to a 3-year-old amputee in Gaza, well, Yasser Arafat, it's just so cruel.
And over 50% of everyone in Gaza before October 7th, I mean, we're under 18, even before October 7th. So that means most of the people there not alive during any of this, during anything he's talking about. And then people like to say, oh, well, they elected Hamas. The last Hamas election, I mean, again, you can't have a genocide just because people voted for something, but the last Hamas election was 2006. So again, most of the people too young to vote in that, but apparently it's fine to genocide them now.
Yeah. That's the same logic of Al-Qaeda, who we have established we are friends with. So maybe this all comes together more neatly than we expect.
Al-Qaeda's good buds, yes. BFFs. And it's just insane for this to be your response. By the way, this is his only response. The guy asks about what's going on. This is all Bill Clinton says, and then they go on to a new topic. And you're witnessing genocide for over a year, and you go, but in the 90s,
exactly.
It's idiotic at best. The best credit you could give him is this is just idiocy. The worst is that he's a fucking psychopath. But
Yeah.
it's just horrific. And then, of course, there's the fact that Israel was never going to allow two-state solution because, as I've mentioned many times, if the Palestinians get a state, then they get certain things under international law, the right to have a military. They get the right to come and go as they please. Israel's not going to allow any of that. They have right of sovereignty over their own water supplies. Israel don't want to allow that. They'd have right to the ocean out for many miles out to open, international waters. Israel didn't want to allow that. There's so many things Israel would never allow. So the idea that, oh yeah, Palestine really had it made, man, and they just walked away from it, garbage. But
yeah, I mean, just to be asked a question about what's happening in Gaza today, and the first thing you say is Yasser Arafat, like you should be embarrassed. Like, talk about a has-been, dude. Like, fucking get off the stage, dude. You got nothing to say.
That's like Libya is just horrific, and you go, yeah, well, Richard Nixon.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell you what he did.